Hey YouTube, just wanted to show off what I've got done so far. I did the little picture in the last video, but I think this is pretty cool looking. Still need to finish some stuff, like for example, this edge is still unfinished. This edge I have painted before, but I'm going to put some kind of a foam stuff there, I just have to order it. But this isn't all the video is going to be about. I'm going to start working on my next piece, so let's flip over to that. So the next piece I'm going to try to deal with is the backpack power pack for the costume. I guess I'm kind of working from the top down. So if I can complete this, I'll have most of the torso stuff, then I'll just have the arms, the legs, the waist stuff. But, you know, one thing at a time. I've got these parts, which will go on to there. Originally I had them glued on and then realized that was going to make it very difficult to do painting and finishing in there. And actually, looking at the piece now, I feel like I should not have added these pieces quite yet, but I've glued them on pretty well. So I'm a little worried that if I try and remove them, I'm just going to end up wrecking things. I think I should be okay. It's going to be a little tight in there, but I mean, no one's really going to see in there. I don't know. Yeah, as I try and do this, I can see the other joins like flexing, and yeah, I don't want that. So for now, I mean, I've got this other one too. This one's actually, I had leftover plastic resin whenever I did this last time, so this is a nice solid surface. I can't scratch it. It's very rigid. It's done on the inside too. It's too dark really to see that. I still need to round it all out, but I think I'm going to focus on this big piece. It's a little bit dusty. I tried to dust it off, maybe not good enough. Anyways, so I think what the plan here is I want to seal it first, and then I'm going to slush cast inside, because I've got this huge hole, so I can dump the stuff in and, you know, slush it around. It's probably not visible here. No. But there are little cutouts in these pieces, so they will also be able to like have some of the material go in, but I think for the most part it's going to be the outside that's going to have to be hardened on these four little exhaust ports. I don't know. I don't know what the lore is, what all that stuff's supposed to be. Still kind of a bit dusty. Who knows, maybe the dust will make things stronger. But what I'm going to do is I've got some Mod Podge that I bought a while ago. It's what I used to do a clear coat on a couple of the other pieces. It didn't really work how I was hoping. It's supposed to be the hard coat, but you know, it's not really meant for this kind of stuff. What it will do though is it will seal this effectively, so I don't have to worry about any of the plastic resin that I put inside leaking out. So all I'm going to do is pour some of this. Ooh, that's like chunky milk almost. It smells like glue. I don't know what I was expecting it to smell like. But this will let my handy dandy paintbrush get in there a bit better. And let's just give that a stir. And let's see what happens if I put this on. It is water-based, so I don't know how the cardstock is going to feel about it. If I thought things through better, there would be less nooks and crannies on this piece, but, you know, hindsight being 2020. I don't think I feel like starting from scratch on this. Took a lot of time to get it together, took a lot of cardstock, and a lot of super glue. Speaking of super glue, though, I am going to order some off of Amazon, along with some foam stuff that I think will work to finish off the other pieces. So that will hopefully let me sort of mitigate the softness of the pauldrons and work as like an effective clear coat. I'm not sure how difficult the process is going to be, but guess what? You guys will get to watch as I attempt it. Now, technically on the bottle, this stuff is supposed to cure for 4 weeks. I doubt I'm going to be waiting that long. Maybe like a couple of days, and then I'll put the resin on the inside and see what happens. This piece I don't think actually needs a lot of like rounding and smoothing and stuff like that. I managed to make the template fairly okay. So I might just plastic resin the outside and call it a day. I guess we'll find out. It all depends on how nice and rigid it gets and how it looks when it's actually... probably after I put the paint on, then I'll realize that, no, I should have done more. Seems to be a common thing. I'm not sure if this is going to add any rigidity to the structure at all. I mean, I guess it should, because there's going to be this Mod Podge glue material. Just not sure if it's going to do that much. Like I said, it says it's supposed to be a hard surface, but I think that's for Mod Podge, not for like all materials. Just making sure this side is relatively well done. I guess I'm going to have to wait to do the other side because I want this side to dry before I, flip it over. Which is a shame because that means I'm going to have to wait for it to dry and then do it all over again on the other side. And then wait for that to dry, and then I can start making more progress. I mean, I got plenty of spare time right now, but I'm kind of in the mind to just get this done. Stop letting myself have excuses. Who knows? We'll see. Maybe it'll be another, 6 years. As I suspected, these are already going to cause trouble because it's kind of difficult to get a brush in there. Especially right up to the top. So... yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to turn out. I guess I'll just be careful when I'm slush casting it. Maybe... well, I'll be wearing gloves, because I don't want that stuff on my hands. But I'll be careful when I'm slushing it down to that part. Huh, so the brush kind of fits in this section. I guess I didn't make them quite the same size. I'm sure as always this is riveting to watch, but if any of you guys are trying to figure out how to do these things yourself, I'm hoping that it's a little useful to you. I mean, we already learned the other day, paper mache, maybe not the best material. At least if you're looking for like really hard surface and, you know, I wouldn't say professional because this is not going to be done professionally. But, you know, a little bit higher quality than like a regular do-it-yourselfer. Another one of the advantages of the Mod Podge stuff is it is non-toxic as far as I know. So it's kind of like the weld bond. And it's only one part, so there's none of that to deal with. I just wish the whole process was as simple as this. It unfortunately is not. Okay, I think I'm getting most of it. I'm probably gonna end up redoing a couple sections just because definitely want to make sure all the little joins are sealed. I mean, all that's holding it together currently is some super glue. Well, and artful folding. So, rather than force you to watch all this, why don't I skip ahead to when I start on the other side, and then I can also give my observations about how I think the side I'm doing now finished, like how it dried and whether or not I feel like it's sealed. So let's skip ahead to that. So I went ahead and already painted this side with the Mod Podge, and it's actually mostly dry. Something I probably should have thought about before I did this was that Mod Podge is water-based, so it did kind of make the cardboard or cardstock a bit more malleable than I'd prefer. I'm assuming it'll dry. Once it's completely dry, it'll be a bit better. But that was something that was, well, it should have been expected, but I didn't really think about it. Anyway, so the outside of this is sealed now. I just gotta wait for this last coat to dry completely. I'll probably leave it a day or two. It says 4 weeks on it, but I'm not waiting 4 weeks. That's crazy. So what I'm gonna do next is after this dries, in another segment of this video, I'll mix up some of the plastic resin, I'll pour it in, and I'll slush it around. So for me, that'll be in a few days, but for you guys, that's going to be in a few moments.